Hello and welcome to my lecture on online course creation tips, in which I'm going to give you several important tips, primarily geared toward the newbie, but also useful for experienced course creators. So let's begin with the tips. I'm going to give you 4 online course creation tips. That's right, I know what you're thinking, only 4, but these are 4 fairly big ones that are going to take a while to explain. So I think you'll be satisfied by the end. The first tip that I'm going to cover is where to publish your courses. So we're talking about online course creation. You need to publish it to get it to your students. Where should you publish it? The next thing we're going to look at is the tools of the trade. I'm going to look at the hardware and the software that I use to create online courses. Next, we're going to look at the course creation process. I'm going to explain how to create a course from beginning to end and show you the entire thing in a diagram. And then finally, Udemy is probably one of the biggest online course sites, and you're probably going to end up there. So I'm going to give you several Udemy course marketing tips. So that's the layout for this lecture. Let's begin with where to publish your courses. Now, I've for, 5 years now, published on several sites. The first one I published on was Udemy, and Udemy is probably the biggest online course marketing site on the internet. Now they take up to 50% of the revenue, actually up to 75% of the revenue from your courses, but it's absolutely free to publish your courses there. And I generate 62% of my revenue from Udemy. The next site that I work on is called Stack Skills or Stack Commerce. Now this site actually found me, and what they specialize in is selling course bundles. I had one of my courses in a course bundle, and now I've got a second course out there that's a standalone, and I'm generating 26% of my revenue from that. So hopefully Stack Skills or Stack Commerce will find you. It seems to be hard to get in touch with them to get into a bundle, but if you get lucky, they'll find you and you'll generate a lot of revenue there. And the final site where I generate 12% of my revenue is Skillshare. Now, unlike Udemy and Stack Commerce, where you buy courses, with Skillshare, what you do is you buy a subscription and you get access to all of the courses on Skillshare. Now, a lot of the money that people pay for subscriptions goes into a pool, and by the end of the month, you get a portion of the pool based on how many hours of your videos were watched. And I'm getting 12% of my revenue from that, which is fairly substantial. So I'm happy with these sites. And these, for several years, have been the core of my online publishing process. Now, recently, I decided to try and spread out and diversify. So I went for several other sites to give them a try, including a site called Udemy, Simpliv, LearnFly, then there's Teachable and Thinkific, TableWise, BitDegree, and iStudy. Now let's talk about each of these individual. Udemy is a new site which just kind of started up in February, and they're looking at bundle sales too. Now, it's kind of new. This is my first month on Udemy with Udemy with my courses, and it looks like I'm going to generate maybe close to $200, which isn't bad for a first month. Now, Simpliv is an Indian company, and my first month with them, I generated $113.50 from only 12 courses. Now, what they do is they charge $9 a course, and you get 50% of the revenue. So you get $4.50 per sale. On Udemy, I seem to average about $4.88 a sale. So that's probably my highest return site. But this month, I'm only making $18. So things have dropped considerably with 24 courses. So it's still kind of questionable. LearnFly is another Indian company, which I haven't earned anything on yet, but I'm experimenting with. Teachable/Thinkific. This is the site where you actually host your own courses. Nobody takes a percentage of the revenue. You get all of it, except for commissions and so on payment options from PayPal and so on. But you're in control of everything. All these other sites are free to publish on, and they provide a certain amount of marketing for your courses. Teachable and Thinkific, you pay monthly for your platform, and you have to do all the marketing. Tablet-wise is primarily Doctors. BitDegree is also brand new, and iStudy is a UK company. Now, my experience with all of these is that only Uthena and Simpliv are making me money right now. All the rest I haven't made a dime on. So they're very questionable, and even Uthena and Simpliv, the revenue is very moderate. So I would hold these off as a back pocket option for when you're done publishing on Udemy, Skillshare, and hopefully get noticed by Stack Commerce. These are the big platforms that you want to go after. Now, if you really want to hold all the revenue, all the cards, and be in control of anything, then you're talking about a Teachable or Thinkific account. But you're going to have to do everything there, all the marketing. So that's where to publish your courses. The next thing that I want to look at is the tools of the trade. And I'm going to begin with hardware. This is my hardware that I use to record online courses. First, I have a computer. It's fairly beefy. It's an i7-based processor, a 27-inch monitor with 16 gigabytes of memory and a 2 terabyte hard drive. Now, you don't really need this beefy of a computer to do recording, but it does help when you're rendering videos or doing intense graphics. The next thing is the microphone. And when it comes to online video courses, audio is king. You need to have clear audio. That's even more important than the clarity of your video. And the Blue Yeti is probably one of the most popular microphones out there. It's a USB microphone, so you just get it and you plug it into a USB port and it starts working. The other thing that I need is that I've got a little bit of noise from my computer and from surrounding environment. And I use a Kaotica eyeball to buffer that. It's a big foam ball that goes over my microphone, and it blocks out sound incredibly. The next thing that's optional is a webcam if you're going to do talking head videos like what I'm doing right now. I have a Logitech C920, and they've now since then come out with the 930, which is an upgrade. Now again, this is optional only if you're going to do talking head videos. And then finally, you have green screen and lighting kits. If you want to do green screen like what I'm doing, where you can cut out the background from your talking head webcam videos. Now these last two, once again, are optional. And I also have additional arms and so on for mounting my webcam and my Kaotica, or my webcam and my microphone. Now let's look at some of these so that you know what I'm talking about. Here's the Blue Yeti. I bought my Blue Yeti as a package on Amazon for about $129, and you get the Blue Yeti, a pop filter, and headphones, which are very handy to plug into the microphone so that you can actually hear very well what you're saying. The next is the Kaotica eyeball. This thing is really interesting. It's a big foam ball with a pop filter in front of it that goes over your microphone, and it blocks out sound very well. Now, it's fairly pricey for just a foam ball, $199, but it's a lot easier than trying to put padding all over your walls or create a little sound box to block out sound. This is like a little sound box and a ball around your microphone. The Logitech C920, which has been replaced, as I said, by the 930, is a really nice high-definition webcam that I use to do recordings, about $70. And finally, my green screen kit, I paid $79 on Amazon for it, and this is it. It comes with a green screen with a stand so that you can put it behind you, several clips to hold it, and then 2 umbrella lights that allow you to light. Now, it's important with green screen to primarily light the green screen. Don't worry about lighting you. you want the green screen to be ironed or steamed so that it has no wrinkles, pull it taut so that it's nice and smooth, and light it well with your umbrella lights. The other thing that I found out after putting a sheet behind my green screen is the green screen that I got is somewhat thin and light comes through it. And that can create kind of a green halo around your head. So I just hung a sheet behind the green screen and that blocks out the light. So that's the green screen, that's the hardware. And if you put it all together, it looks something like this. Here you can see my 27-inch monitor and computer over on the right, and in front of it is the Blue Yeti microphone on an arm with the big Kaotica eyeball on top of it. I also have a mic stand with the webcam mounted on it so that I can look at the center of the screen and be looking directly into the webcam rather than having it up on the top of my 27-inch monitor looking down at my head. I then have the green screen behind me, and you can see one of the lights there that I use to light it in front of the window. So this is my office setup. It doesn't have to be very elegant, and you're not talking about a lot of equipment or expense. What is this? Maybe $200, $300 to set up all your hardware. The next thing that I want to talk about is the software. And I only use two pieces of software to do these recordings. One is the Camtasia screen recorder and video editor. This records your screen and then allows you to have a video editor to edit your screen recordings. Now it's fairly pricey at $199, but it is really a cool program and I highly recommend it. There are other screen recorders out there. If you're on a Mac, I've heard really good things about ScreenFlow. The other thing that I use is Microsoft PowerPoint to do presentations, such as what you're seeing right now. So this presentation is recorded and edited using Camtasia, and it's a PowerPoint presentation. That's all you need as far as the tools of the trade. And total, if you have to buy it all, maybe we're talking about $700 to get set up with online course creation. Now the next thing that I want to talk about, I want to go through this diagram on the course creation process. And it all revolves around the Camtasia tool for recording your screen and creating presentations. So we're going to begin. Camtasia comes in two parts, the screen recorder and the video editor. We're going to begin by talking about the screen recorder, which you start first to begin recording your screen. So you start the screen recorder, and the first thing that you can do is record everything that goes on your screen. So you can give software demonstrations and show people how to use certain things. It also records your audio, so it's recording my Blue Yeti microphone. Next, you can actually have PowerPoint presentations. Once again, all you're doing is recording the screen while you're playing a PowerPoint presentation on it. It's that simple. And finally, you can get input from a webcam to have a talking head video. Later, if you're using a green screen, you can use the Camtasia editor to remove the green background. Now, once you're done recording, you press F10 and the Camtasia recorder shuts down and saves the recording into a TREC file. The TREC file is input to the video editor. Now, if you look at the recorder, you can see that here you have options. This is what it looks like when it pops up at first. For the area of the screen to record, I always record full screen. Whether you want your webcam and selecting your webcam, and then selecting your audio source. So you can see how it's very easy to use the recorder to set up these three options. Next comes the video editor, and it gets started immediately opening your TREC file to edit the particular recording that you just made. As you save things, you save them in a TSC project file. So the editor never makes modifications to the original source. Instead, it stores its modifications in the project file and leaves the original source alone. Now within the editor, you can do intros, outros, pans, green screen removal, noise removal to your audio, all of the standard things that you would do with a video editor. In addition, you can bring in external sources. So video camera and green screen work, maybe from an external video camera, background music, images, downloaded stock video, all of these things you can bring into the Camtasia editor to merge with your presentation. And you edit things together, and when you're finally done, you generate an MP4 file out of the Camtasia video editor and either upload it to YouTube or one of the online course management systems like Udemy or Skillshare. Now, when you start the video editor, it opens up and looks like this. It's a rather complex environment, but once you get used to it, it's very easy to use. And whatever you had on your screen that you were recording shows up in a window so that you can watch it. You can move the playhead back and forth, you can delete areas that had errors, and all of the other options that you can modify as you see on the left of the screen and the right of the screen as more control panels pop up. And that's pretty much the course creation process in a nutshell. It's very simple, uses very little software, just Camtasia and PowerPoint to put together the presentations. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is Udemy course marketing. Udemy is probably going to be one of your biggest course platforms. So I want to talk about how to market your courses on Udemy. There are some specific steps. And the first is to select a niche and dominate it. What you should do is enter keywords to search for particular categories that you're considering publishing in. And then what you want to do is have the longest course in that niche, and you want to have the most courses in that niche. And that's the way to dominate a niche. Now the next is to name your course to be found. Once again, put keywords into your course title and course subtitle. Keywords can be found from search string completions that fall down from the search box once you start typing a string, and from Marketplace Insights, a Udemy tool that allows you to see what are the popular keywords and what's the competition for a particular niche. Next, you want to work on your description, promotion, and branding. Make a course card that's consistent across your entire line of courses. And copyright, that's not copyright as far as legal, but as in writing copy, your course description to be as good as it can. What you're doing is creating a sales funnel here. People first search and find your course because you have keywords in your title and subtitle. They like your title and your course card because of your branding, and then they start looking at it, so they start reading your description and your promo video, so they get pulled into the course and eventually buy it. Create a course funnel. Next, price your course to be a steal. You have options to price your course from $19.99 to $199.99. But all courses on Udemy seem to sell for about $9.99 to $12.99, netting you about $4.88 on average. So, price your course as high as possible. That way, when it's on sale, it looks like a big markdown. I price all my courses, no matter the length, at $199.99, and they typically sell for about $9.99. So, that's a big markdown. You want the biggest markdown possible. Next, you can get thousands of students overnight by creating a free coupon for your course and posting it on a site called Best Black Hat Forum in the Udemy free coupon section. This is probably the biggest site for online free course promotion on Udemy. So use it and you can get literally thousands of students, if not overnight, maybe in days. This will bolster your student counts, which makes your course look good, and it will also give you a few students that watch your course. Now, these are primarily going to be collectors and they'll never watch your course, but a few will, and they might review your course. And the next is getting a handful of quality reviews in weeks. What you do is you monitor your student course completion records and look for all students that have completed 100% of your course or near it and haven't left a review. Then you send them a Udemy message asking them to please leave a review. Remember, don't ask them for a 5-star review, just an honest review, or you'll get in trouble with Udemy Trust and Safety. Next, you should update your course often. The last update date is one of the sort criteria for searches. And it also gives you something to tell your students about to bolster engagement. And finally, target your promotional announcements. Promotional announcements are probably the best way to sell courses on Udemy. Unfortunately, Udemy restricts you to only having 2 promotional announcements per month per course. Well, what you do is you send to one course talking about another course, and you can actually multiply your promotional announcements. Now, I have a course on these marketing tips and on using Camtasia Studio that I'm going to put links for so that you can get them on with a promotional coupon for only $9.99 in the description of this course. You might want to check them out if you find this course or this training video useful. And that's it for the presentation. Those are my 4 tips. If you found this video useful, please like it. And if you'd like to see more videos like it, you might consider subscribing. This has been Brian Jackson, and I'll see you in the next video.